This is a Samsung Galaxy Note SIM tray replacement video. Make sure that you start with the back cover removed from the phone and all of the screws from the rear panel removed. And in addition, you want to remove your micro SD, your SIM card, and your battery. From that point, we'll be looking at the back of the phone here where we go in between the front glass and the bezel. The Note's put together a little differently than the S3, so you'll see that I'm actually going right around the edge of the bezel here between that and the front glass. Skip over the power button and volume button controls. You don't want to go in there with the pry tool. If you do, just go very, very shallow. You don't need to go very far here to get this to unclip from the back. And once you made your way all the way around the phone, and again, be very careful near the charging port also. You don't want to put any pressure on that. I usually just go around the sides and just kind of a little bit on the bottom here and then work it away. You don't want to put any tension on that port. Once we get this taken apart, you'll see that the SIM tray and SD card reader tray are all one piece. This is our replacement here. I'm going to be taking out of the package, and they're all attached to the main board by one single flex cable. You should be able to remove this without pulling the board out of the phone. However, if you need to do that, there's just there might be one or two screws and an antenna wire here and a few flex cables. But I recommend you just leave the board in the phone and take your pry tool. And if you look closely here, go ahead and disconnect this little pop connector here. And if you take a look closely here, you'll see that you can just go in right underneath the tray very carefully with a soft tool. Don't put any pressure on any chips that are adjacent to that. You see I've chosen a spot on the bottom here where I can't really do much harm. And just very gently lift up and kind of work your way around. You'll see that this metal frame goes into a set of clips right underneath here. You can just pull that off. Take your new piece and you'll have to work it right into these little metal pieces here. All the way around, you'll see these little places that you need to get the plate to go in between. And when you take a look at the phone, you'll see what I'm talking about. So just take your time, make sure you're going in between each one of those clips. And once you get it positioned correctly, it might take you a second or two, but you can just very gently press down and it'll pop right onto the main board. And from here you can plug in the flex cable, put the phone back together, and now you've got a brand new SIM card and micro SD card reader. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this or it helped you, please hit the like button. And here I'm just going to hit the power button, make sure everything's working here, and that it does actually read the SIM card, which it did in this case, and this solved the problem. Let's see if this will turn on here. It might take a little, it might take a minute here because we've got to fire everything up. But I'm just basically testing to make sure that it actually solved the problem, and in fact it did. So give it a second here. You'll see when it says auto update of time at the bottom of the phone, then you'll know that you actually have a data connection, which will show up here after a few tries here. I was trying to dial out a little bit too early. So the one thing about the Galaxy series, in fact, Androids in general lately, have to kind of just wait for them to read the memory card, read the onboard memory, sometimes update applications. So you can't just turn on the phone and start making phone calls, but here, probably in less than a minute or so, you'll see that it actually does pick up signal, is reading the SIM card, and read the SD card, and we're good to go.